Hey, what's up, team? I wanted to make a video breaking down today's trade callouts on SPY, the mentions on Tesla, and the trades called out on AMD. I'm going to walk you through kind of what I was looking at here. So we're going to start off with SPY, which is the first one that was called out in chat. And I'm going to do all of this analysis on the 1 minute time frame. I'm going to timestamp the alerts to the stock chart itself so you can see what was going on. So my thought process leading up to this trade on SPY, which was a short idea, is we had a long trigger placed at 399. That comes straight off of the day trade watch list trigger levels. SPY long over 399, right? SPY rejects 399 at the open and falls below the previous day's close, which is that green line there. Anytime a stock breaks below the PDC, it's always going to be a potential point of support or resistance. So it acts as a resistance here and rejects down lower into the lower low of day. So at this time, my mind starts working. Okay, SPY's rejecting long trigger. That's watch list rule number 4, right? Which is put out in the watch list training channel. Then we get a rejection of the previous day's close, which we also know is a potential point of what? Resistance, correct? So the move lower into low of day confirms that move. And then this is where we go into the alert room and I say, that's a previous day's close reject on SPY into low of day, right? At 9:39 a.m., we can consider a short on this rally. So 9:38, 9:39 right here, and then that's where I wind up taking the entry. 9:39, I loaded, give you the put contracts, and then same minute, 9:39, took position on SPY short, and I give you the contracts and I give you the stop loss. So all of that's occurring. It's 3 alerts, very fast, but all of that's occurring in this 1 minute, right? And that's kind of my analysis leading up to why I took that trade. Then we get the drop down into the low of day, and that was 10% for us. Already up 10% here on SPY on that low of day drop. Now, it probably would have been a higher percentage had we gone with the same day expirations. I went with a little further out just because I didn't totally trust this move, and for good reason. Good thing that the profits were taken where they were because we did wind up breaking the downward trend line and moving up. Now, if you were in this trade with me, and let's say you didn't have the time to load the contracts, or you didn't take your profits when you were offered that 10%, on this break of this trend line right here, you should be considering closing that position because this then becomes what? A bullish engulfing candlestick formed at the bottom of a downtrend, signaling a potential reversal as it's breaking the downtrend trend line. So if you're not closing your position here, you see it rejects the previous day's close and pulls back. This is pretty close to the entry point. So if you don't close the position here on this candle, you have another chance right here on this dip to close that position close to break even. And if you don't close it there, your absolute stop out should be at the break of the previous day's close, which was the original 398.5 stop loss mentioned in the alert room to begin with, right? If you don't close the position there, then look what happens. Now you're stuck with this moving higher and running up into high of day, and you're losing 30, 40, 50% for no reason when you should have just closed it down here if you had the chance to either take your profits or get out at break even. The next trade that was mentioned was on AMD long. So we're going to flip over to the AMD chart. We are again on the 1 minute time frame, and we're going to move right into the very next minute. So I said 9:41 as soon as we close that SPY trade. Very next minute, AMD, something else to watch here also. Trend line break potential if this holds the previous day's close, again with that PDC, as a point of support. So AMD opened up and went green, pulls back, holding the previous day's close, which is this green line, as a point of support. And look at the charts. I'm posting this before it breaks this downtrend trend line. I'm posting this looking like on this candle when it's halfway up. Then all of a sudden, boom. We get the break of the downtrend trend line, signaling what? Potential reversal. We've got a bullish engulfing candlestick formed at the bottom of a downtrend, signaling what? Potential reversal. So instead of chasing the move up here, we reject high of day and pull back to our original trigger at 71.5. And again, this is noted on the day trade watch list. AMD long over 71.5. Okay, AMD pulls back to the trigger, perfect retest of that trigger as a point of support, old resistance, support, resistance, support, becomes new support. That sounded really confusing, but I think you got what I was saying there. Old resistance here becomes new support there. It's our trigger level. We're going to go ahead and take this entry long here for the run up close to high of day. Now, what I did do was close this position on this red candle here. We were offered 10%, I think actually a little over 10% on this trade. When it started to reject high of day, I went ahead and closed it out. I did mention that if you were still long on this, make sure you place your stop at 71.5. There's no reason why we should let a 10% winning trade turn around and become a loser on us. So if at any point, if anything, you should be closing this position at or near break even. So I wind up not going back into the trade here because what I said, back to the alert room, right? So AMD potential or trend line break here, potential long idea, right? So I was confirming the trade for you, and then I'd give you the contracts loaded, taking AMD long here at 9:44 a.m. So that's going to timestamp right there, 9:44 a.m. timestamped there. Stop. I give you the stop loss. I give you the contract, smaller size. I give you the fill price and all that good stuff. Now at 10%, right? And then I tell you, if you're holding AMD long, you want to move your stop, all that good stuff. And then we get a breakout into high of day. So what I say here is this chomp near high of day on Tesla and AMD at this time, not really worth it, right? That's not the move. So for us to take another position, what we want to do is wait for high of day breaks and proper direction before another entry, because we don't want to be trading inside of this chomp. And that's my justification for not taking the entry again down here, because I didn't want to see it just rally back up in 10% and then we get out. So what we do get though is the confirmation, boom, breakout into high of day, and then the pullback. So when we pull back, look at what I said right here. I'm looking for a dip to take long in this area, and I draw a gray shaded box. Now, this is before we even get the pullback, right? Reason why I said long here is because old resistance here can become new support over here. Now, this pullback was pretty quick. It popped back up pretty quick. So I did wind up missing my initial entry on this candle over here. It would have been a great entry. Personally, I missed it. So we get the rally up, though. We get the green candle and then the pullback again. So, hey, you're getting a second chance here to go back in on the trade that I just missed. Take the entry. Trust the analysis. You're going to miss 100% of the opportunities that you don't take. So AMD, we watch this support. Watch this area to hold as a support. 9:59 a.m. we take AMD long, which is going to timestamp right on this candle here. The very next candle, we're immediately up 10%. I did say I am up 10%, and 10:01, I'm going to take most of the profits here. That was actually, should be on this candle. It's the same height. So regardless, I said I'm going to take most of the profits off here. I just didn't trust the move with the consolidation. I didn't close out the whole position, decided to scale out so that I was able to stay in the position and capture more profits if it continued to move up, which it did. And I think I wound up closing the position AMD now at 1.73 from the 1.5 fill at 15% all the way off there. And that timestamp was at 10:04, which is going to timestamp, yeah, somewhere right here. I think I closed it on the green candle, and then the alert went out the very next minute. So a little bit of a delay with the alerts, not much. It's usually only 1 minute, but I'm putting this stuff out multiple times, with the AMD trade, for example. I mean, I literally give you the trade idea before it even breaks out, and then I give you the trade idea after it confirms. So at that point, this entry, you should really not be late on. I gave you the whole trade idea, even this one too, right? You really shouldn't be late on that entry, because I'm leading up to this even happening. I'm telling you where I'm looking for the pullback before it even pulls back. So you've got to learn how to read these alerts and prepare yourself and position yourself to be able to take the trades really fast. I mean, I do the best that I can to get the information out there as fast as I can and as accurate as I can. But to be honest with you, you don't need to rely on my alerts, because if we're just going off of the trigger levels, for example, 71.5, you get 1-2 bounces off 71.5 before this runs into high of day. Let's talk about Tesla, because I did say that I was going to mention this one. So this was a long at 127, and it has ran up to highs of, I think, 131 so far. 130.5. Tesla was my top stock pick for today. It was my top watch for today, but why would I not take an entry on Tesla? Let me walk you through this. So the opening move up to 127, which is our trigger level straight off of the day trade watch list, Tesla long above 127. The opening move up to 127, I'm not trusting that. 1, 2, 3 candles, 4 candles, 5 candles. We're at the 5-minute time frame here. We don't trade in the first 5 minutes. We get the move up higher. I'm just not trusting it. A stock that's trading at or near the trigger levels we know is a watch list rule. We want to stay patient and see where it goes. So it drops back down below 127. So good thing we didn't go long over here, right? We would be taking a loss on this. Rallies back up to 127 and then does the same thing here that it did over here, which is chop, 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 chop. So while this would have been a profitable trade had you gone long anywhere in this area, maybe with a stop below 126 or something like that, it would have worked for you, but this is too unclear for me. And so I was doing the same thing with Tesla that I was doing with AMD, which is I said I want to wait on that high of day breakout and then look to take the long on a dip. The difference between this Tesla move when it broke out into high of day and AMD when it broke out into high of day is that Tesla broke out and never really gave you a solid pullback. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at now 127.5 as a point of support, old resistance, new support. Never really get that nice pullback to 127.5. Whereas AMD offers you that not only once, but twice. I mean, it's a little far off at that point, but you get the idea. So AMD offering the better pullback, that's where I'm going to look to place my trades. I hope that the videos helped you out. We went 3 for 3 today. The SPY short for 10%, AMD long for 10%, then AMD long for 15%. And if you held, you probably got 20 or 30% plus on that AMD trade. Press that like button for me. Let me know in the comments what you think, how I can improve. If you have any suggestions for me, let me know. We will be live trading on Wednesday and Thursday this week to begin the $1,000 challenge. Take care, enjoy your day, and I thank you for watching.